evening, and welcome to our Glendale City Council meeting. If you would like to comment on any item on the agenda, please fill out a gold speaker card and hand it to the police officer in the back of the room. The mayor will call your name when it's your turn to speak, and you can make your way to the podium. All speakers have 3 minutes. If you'd like to talk about a topic that's not on the agenda, please complete a blue speaker card and give it to the officer in the back of the room. Items that are not on the agenda are heard at the end of the voting meeting. Glendale has 7 city council members. Mayor Jerry Wires, Vice Mayor Joyce Clark of the Yucca District, Councilmember Jamie Aldama of the Ocotillo District, Councilmember Ian Hugh of the Cactus District, Councilmember Bart Turner of the Beryl District, Councilmember Ray Malner of the Saguaro District, and Councilmember Lauren Tolmachoff of the Cholla District. This meeting is streaming live on Glendale's Facebook and YouTube pages and the city's cable television station, Glendale Channel 11. Thank you for joining us.
Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Glendale City Council meeting September 12th, 2023. I call this meeting to order. Roll call is not necessary because everybody's here. So if the clerk will take note of that, please. Our next 2 items on the agenda are going to be the invocation and a pledge of allegiance. The invocation tonight's going to be from a friend of mine, David Toom, Bellevue Heights Church. Gentlemen, if appropriate, if you are wearing a hat, please remove it. If everyone would please stand for our invocation. And if you would, please remain standing for a pledge of allegiance following immediately after that. Sir, go ahead.
Please join me in prayer. Gracious and loving Father, Father of love and light, thank you for living in the details of our lives. Thank you for allowing us the light of each passing day, for the next heartbeat, and for the next breath of air, for the nourishment we take and for the pleasures we enjoy. Thank you for the challenges we face and the solutions you provide. Tonight, Father, we thank you for our mayor and city council and for this amazing city of Glendale they serve. This evening, as Mayor Wires and city council seek excellence in all matters, please inspire answers to questions, inspire resolutions to dilemmas, and plans of action that bring life to opportunities. May consensus be achieved through healthy debate, rich with transparency, honesty, and goodwill. Father, we hasten to give thanks for our first responders that serve and protect Glendale. Keep them safe, keep them well, keep them close to you. Father, we pray this council meeting will be informed by your high thoughts and high ways as every effort is made to serve well the people of Glendale. We ask this in the name of the one who gave his life as servant for all. Amen.
Amen. All right, if everyone please join me in a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. Okay, next on our agenda is the approval of the agenda, the consideration of the minutes, August 22nd, 2023 voting meeting. Council members, do you have any corrections or additions to those minutes? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve August 22nd, 2023 minutes?
Motion to approve item number 1, meeting minutes of August 22 of 2023.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Aldama, second Councilmember Tomachoff to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed, vote nay. Here's the ayes have it, do have it. So it be. Today we're proclaiming September 14th, 2023 as Support Latino Business Day in Glendale. With us here today, we've got several people from La Pearlissima. I'm not saying that right. I can't roll my... I'll let you say it when you come up. How's that? Anyway, I'm going to ask them all to come up. I've got a proclamation that I'm going to give to them, and then I'll have her pronounce that because Pearlissima is the way I think it is, but did I get it right? Okay. All right, but I'll have you say it because you say it so much nicer than I do. But let me come up there and we'll do a proclamation.
Purísima.
I'm gonna turn this around this way. Okay, you can stand like. Okay, and the reason we're doing this proclamation, one thing that Glendale, I believe, in a long, long time has not done a good job of is a real true representation of its the Hispanic population we have. We have a very large Hispanic population, and I think that we miss the boat too many times when we support, but we don't really go out overwhelmingly and support. You folks are a mainstay of Glendale. You've been here for a long time. All you got to do is just go down there. There's days I've gone down there and the line wraps all the way around the building. It's incredible. They're well known. They're very, very popular. And I thought the very least we could do is give them a proclamation. Now, we did make them Business of the Week. I don't even know how long ago that was. It was 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer than that, right? Anyway, your parents started it, and now you're in charge. Their parent. Their parent, okay. Okay. She married into it. Pretty smart, huh? Okay, so I'm going to read this and then we'll do pictures. Whereas Glendale is a diverse and inclusive city made of entrepreneurs and trailblazers with a growing Latino population and a thriving Latino business community. And whereas in that spirit, our city recognizes the unique contributions of the Latino community during this year's Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. Whereas Latino-owned businesses make the jobs they help create a positive impact they bring to our community and beyond. Whereas the City of Glendale is joining communities across the country to support Latino Business Day to acknowledge and to encourage support of our Latino-owned businesses. Now therefore, I, Jerry P. Wires, Mayor of the City of Glendale, Arizona, on behalf of my City Council, and I know I've got full support of my City Council on this one. Now we support Latino Business Day, be it further resolved. I encourage all residents to shop. I encourage everybody in Arizona to shop at Latino-owned businesses, and especially at theirs. So that was signed by our chief clerk, myself. We'll take a picture with this, and then anything that you would like to say, you know, represent your business or your family. There you go.
We'd just like to say thank you to the City of Glendale. We've been in business for 40 years here in Glendale, and it's been good. Been amazing, and we've grown from a little small papa mama shop to a big corporation. So we're just happy to be here in Glendale.
Mayor, I'll make a comment to the visitors, if I may. Thank you, sir. Purísima, muchísimas gracias y lo agradecemos mucho que tienes su negocio aquí en Glendale y te apoyamos mucho y gracias por celebrar la cultura de nuestra gente de la comunidad. Muchísimas gracias and thank you so much for all you've done for our community. Thank you, Mayor.
This podium's kind of wacky here. Okay, we're going to do boards and commissions and other bodies. We'll move on to that. That's item number 3. We have any speaker cards?
No, sir.
No, okay. Councilmember Melner, do you have any nomination stopper?
I do. Mayor, I move to make the following appointments. To the Arts Commission, Nancy Lennox as chairman with the term expiring 1/31, and James Smith as vice chairman of the Arts Commission with a term expiring 1/31/2025.
Second.
Okay, if that's the only two, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Here's the ayes have it, do you have it? Motion does carry. Are those folks here tonight? Come on up. I guess be like, come on down. Yeah, come around to this side. Okay, if you'll hold your right hand up, sir. Repeat after me. Say, I state your name.
I, James
do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of my office to the best of my ability, so help me God. Congratulations, sir. Let's do the picture before we go on. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. This thing, we've had some additions to this, so we're gonna do the best we can with it. Our consent agenda, items 4 through 21, items 23, 24, and 26 through 29. 4 through 21, that's not correct because we want to hear item number 7 separately. Everybody make notes here. Item 14 was in that list, yes? No, it wasn't. So item 14 also gets heard separately. Neither one of those require a separate vote, is that correct? Whoever asked for those.
Can vote separately on it, Mayor, that's fine.
Okay. Anyway, so that's what we have.
And 22 and 25. I pulled.
A separate vote on item 22, item 25, right?
Correct.
Okay. So items on the consent agenda are typically a routine nature, been previously studied by the city council at a workshop session. They are intended to be acted upon in one motion by this council. Have we any speaker cards on any of those items?
No, sir.
Okay, so with that said, I'm gonna let you, Ms. Julie, go ahead and kind of guide us through this thing. Did you make all the notes?
Yes, sir, just.
Okay.
Okay, do you want to take a motion on the ones that don't need a separate vote first?
Yeah, let's do those first, and then we'll come back and from the lowest number up to the highest number on the ones that they want heard separate and separate vote.
Okay, it would be 4 through 6, 8 through 13, 15 through 21, 23 through 24, and 26 through 29.
Okay, so who's gonna make that motion?
Ian.
Yeah, I started and my pen
Okay.
gave out as Julie's talking about
Do
it.
you just want,
So here's, yeah, it's not,
as
Here's what I-
stated by the clerk?
yeah, let's vote on it, stated by the clerk.
Okay, we got a second?
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion from Councilmember Hugh, a second from the Vice Mayor, as stated by the clerk, to approve the consent agenda items as she stated. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Appears the ayes have it, do have it, that motion carries. Okay, so now we can go to the separate items.
Item 7, authorization to enter into a memorandum of understanding with Veterans Community Project.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is a request to enter into a preliminary memorandum of understanding for the Veterans Community Project, which has been discussed at the City Council workshops over the last several months. This particular project will develop 50 units of transitional housing for homeless veterans. It will include on-site wraparound services as well. Council had previously provided direction to utilize city-owned property for this project. And that action took place over the budget period. This particular action item tonight will make available $321,000 of funding that was allocated to us from the state of Arizona's general fund So this money can be used for pre-development expenses so that the project can get started. While we continue to work with the organization on the zoning and different activities that need to take place to get the land ready for development, and so that they can also hire appropriate consultants, architects, design professionals, et cetera, to get the design of the facility underway. Approving this memorandum of understanding tonight in advance of the full development agreement will help us to expedite the project. So with that, the next steps after this will be to bring forward a final development agreement to the City Council, which will encompass everything, which will include the instrument that we make the land available to the organization, as well as committing the rest of the state general fund dollars for the project. We also hope to, at that particular point, be able to have additional funding that we have been working with Maricopa County. They're very interested in also providing funding for this project. So with that, I would be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, questions?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Maybe not necessarily questions, but being this hasn't been presented actually, other than the initial workshop when it was an item of interest, and then as a budgetary item on the donation of public land for the project. But this is the first vote we've taken separately, and being that this is publicly owned property, I felt that the public in the name of transparency was entitled to the presentation. So that's the reason I pulled it tonight, Mayor. I honestly don't think this really belonged on the consent agenda.
Anyone else? Okay. All right, thank you. Any other questions? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve item number 7?
Second?
Okay, I have a motion, Councilmember Turner, a second, Councilmember Hugh, to approve item number 7. No further discussion. Roll call vote. Councilmember Eldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Hugh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote? Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
And I'm going to explain my vote. I don't even know how long ago it was, 7, 8 months ago, maybe longer. I really can't remember. 4 of the council, if I remember correctly, Councilmember Melner, Councilmember Turner, Tomachoff, and myself went to Kansas City. It's been longer than 7 months. November. So we're coming up on a year. And we had the chance to see a veterans project that was going on there. And quite honestly, I loved everything I seen about it. The fact that here's a solution to help homeless veterans get their lives back together. And it's a nonprofit that puts it together and runs it and operates it. But they need partnerships. And the city of Glendale stepped up and said, you know, we want to be a part of that. And the council's been supportive. The state stepped up and already awarded $3.2 million towards this project. And it's my understanding that the county is, I'm not going to use the words promise, but it looks like we got a very strong opportunity that they'll invest about $3 million, along with some city property that, quite honestly, we haven't been utilizing, I think, at all the way we should. And it also gave us a chance to pay off some debt to transportation, pay back some debt to transportation. And maybe that was the best, maybe it wasn't, but at least it's done. But we have a real chance now to start moving forward. The VFW in front of this property said if this council will take this position and move this forward, they will actually donate their property or some of their property for a center for the veterans to actually be able to go and seek help and have counselors and folks like that come up. So this is, I would say, as community-oriented and partnerships as you're ever going to get when you have a nonprofit and you have the state and the county and the city all stepping up to do what all of us do, and that's to serve our citizens. So I'm very, very proud of this council. I'm very proud of our city, and I just can't wait until we get to start breaking some ground. But you know, we take baby steps first. We get the first part done, get all the planning and everything. It has to come back and be approved again, but this is the right step. So with that, I vote aye, and I'm very proud to announce that it was a unanimous vote. So thank you. Moving on to our next item.
Item
Mr.
14, authorization to enter into a construction agreement with Floresco Services LLC for the Downtown Cafe Lighting Phase 2 Project 221921. There are no speaker cards.
Mayor, council members, Don Besser with the City Engineering Department. This is the second phase of the downtown cafe lighting, sometimes referred to as festoon lighting. As you recall, 2 years ago, we initiated the first phase. It was a signal that council was ready to start really strongly reinvesting in our downtown. You spent a lot of time over the last 2 years doing that, prepping the downtown campus reinvestment project, cafe lighting, all sorts of programming, and a number of other initiatives in the downtown. This is the second phase. If this is awarded tonight, we will give Floresco a notice to proceed, and we will continue with the project. This phase of the project takes the next phase to along Glenelg Avenue from 58th Avenue to 57th Drive. And again, that will represent the second phase. The long-term plan is to do numerous phases as council prioritizes these. And with that, I'll answer any questions you have.
Thank you. Any questions from the council?
Mayor, yeah, thank you for the explanation. The reason why I asked it to be pulled is just to listen, and so that those who are watching, especially those in downtown and in Catlin Court, they would understand that this has come before us because they wouldn't have had any knowledge. So do you know, I do have one question, the project timeline?
Mayor, council member, that's a great question, and I don't know the project timeline, but I will definitely get that for you. I want to say it's not going to be long, but as soon as I say that, we've had a lot of supply chain issues with electrical equipment, so we will come back to you through the city manager's office with a response for that.
Okay, and just for those who are watching, just because we're approving it, if it gets approved today, doesn't mean we're starting tomorrow. There's some time frame between. You'll get that to us. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Any other questions? Okay, can I get a motion to approve item number, whatever that is?
14.
Item 14.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilmember Hughes, a second from the Vice Mayor. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote again. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Hugh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Vice Mayor Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. That motion also carries. Ms. Bauer.
Item 22, authorization to enter into a linking agreement with AmeriGas Propane LP and approve the cooperative purchase of propane for the training center for the Glendale Fire Department.
No
Okay.
discussion required, Mayor.
No discussion required. Okay, no questions. Can I get a motion to approve item 22?
Move we approve item 22.
Second. I have a motion from Councilmember Hughes, second from Councilmember Turner to approve recommended action. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Hugh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
I will explain my vote.
Go ahead and,
Thank you, Mayor. This and another item in the items under bids and contracts are all 5-year contracts, and as my habit and practice, I traditionally vote no on those because they provide no continuity of oversight by a city council when council terms are 4 years. Thank you, Mayor, and I vote no.
all right, thank you. Okay, so my notes just went from item 22 to item 25. I don't think that's correct.
Yes. Just vote.
What's that?
Just vote.
Item 22.
Item 25.
I can't hear what you're saying.
Mayor, you need to vote
Item
on item 22. We still need your vote.
Okay, I'm confident. Okay, I do vote aye. It passes. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And then item 25, authorization to enter into linking agreement with Insight Public Sector, Inc. for hardware, software, cloud products, and related services.
Okay, so 23 and 24 weren't pulled out of here. That's what was messing me up. Okay. We're on item 25. Okay, council members, questions?
No,
None?
no discussion.
Okay, can I get a motion?
So move.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Turner, second from Councilmember Tomachoff. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Hugh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Mayor, this is a 5-year contract? I vote aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Nay, nay.
Vice Mayor votes nay. The chair votes aye. Motion does carry. Moving on to item 29. Is that correct?
No,
No,
that's
sir,
it.
we voted on that one.
That's it, Mayor.
Okay.
We're ready for
I'm
consent
just, that's just the way they're
resolutions.
laid out here, so we got them kind of in a funk right now. Item 26?
Done.
Yes?
No, sir. We're ready for
sir.
consent resolutions.
Yeah,
30.
okay. Well, that's why we try to do this right. What number are you on, do you need to go to?
Item 30.
30, 30. All right, we're
For
getting
point
there.
of order, I don't believe they've been read, have they?
Not yet, no.
Oh, okay.
All right, item 30, go ahead.
Item 30, resolution number R 23-75, a resolution of the council of the city of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing the entering into of a land use license agreement with Salt River Project Agricultural Improvement and Power District for the use of the north bank of the Grand Canal lying within sections 9, 10, 14, 15, and 16, Township 2, North Range 1, east of the Gila and Salt River Base and Meridian, Maricopa County, Arizona. Item 31, resolution number R 23-76, a resolution of the council of the city of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of a law enforcement mutual aid agreement between the Tohono O'odham Nation and the city of Glendale. And item 32, resolution number R 23-77, a resolution of the council of the city of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of an intergovernmental agreement with Maricopa County for the mutual waiver of traffic control fees. That concludes the consent resolutions.
Have you any speaker cards?
No, sir.
Is there a motion to approve items 30 through 32 on the consent resolutions agenda?
Mayor,
Go ahead.
I move we approve consent resolutions 30, 31, and 32.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Turner, a second from who? Councilmember Aldama on consent resolutions 30, 31, 32. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Carries the ayes have it, do have it, that motion carries unanimous. Moving on to bids and contracts. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 33?
Award of IFB 23-11 and authorization to enter into an agreement with Impact Plastics Corporation for front load and roll off bin parts. There are no speaker cards.
Any questions from the council? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve item 33?
Ray.
Anybody?
I've got 38, but I'll move it.
Anybody?
I move that we approve item 33.
Second.
Yeah, a motion from Councilmember Melner, a second from Councilmember Hugh to approve item 33. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Hugh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, that motion carries unanimous. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 34, please?
Award of bid RFP 23-36, authorization to enter into a services agreement with Maricopa Ambulance LLC for emergency medical transportation services. There are no speaker cards.
Any questions from the council? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve item 34?
Yes, Mayor, I move we approve the RFP 2336, authorization to enter into services agreement with Maricopa Ambulance LLC.
Second. I have a motion from Councilmember Tomachoff, second from Councilmember Hugh to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Hugh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Nay.
Vice Mayor votes nay. Chair votes aye. The motion does carry. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 35 for us, please?
Award of IFB 23-44 and authorization to enter into an agreement with Bullway Barricades Company LLC for citywide barricade services. There are no speaker cards.
Any questions from the council? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve item number 35?
Motion to approve item number 35. Motion to approve agreement with Bullway Barricades Company LLC.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Aldama, second from Councilmember Tomachoff to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Hugh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Nay.
Chair votes aye. The motion does carry. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 36 for us, please?
Award of IFB 23-44 and authorization to enter into an agreement with Southwest Barricades LLC for traffic control and citywide barricade services. There are no speaker cards.
Thank you. Any questions from the council? Can I get a motion to approve item 36?
Mayor,
Go ahead.
I move we approve IFB 23-44 and authorize the city manager to enter into the described agreement with Southwest Barricades LLC.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Turner, second from Councilmember Hugh to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, we'll conduct a roll call vote. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Hugh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Nay.
Chair votes aye, that motion is carried. Moving on to ordinances. Ms. Barr, would you introduce item 3.7, ordinance 023-29?
Ordinance number O23-29, an ordinance of the council of the city of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing the execution of easements and deeds at various locations throughout the city and directing the city clerk to record a certified copy of the ordinance.
Mayor, members of the council, here to provide staff report on both items number 37 and 38 is Glendale Principal Engineer Jamie Chapin.
Thank you, Mr. Phelps. Good evening, Mayor and Council. With this ordinance, we will be accepting right-of-way and easements for public infrastructure that is being constructed by developers throughout the city. Staff is recommending acceptance so that the city may access, operate, and maintain the facilities in the future. Thank you.
Questions? Hearing none, can I get a motion?
Yes, Mayor, I move we adopt ordinance number O23-29.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Tomachoff, second Councilmember Aldama to approve the recommended action. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Hugh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, that motion carries unanimous. Ms. Barr, would you introduce item 3.8, ordinance 023-30?
Ordinance number O23-30, an ordinance of the council of the city of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing the execution of an irrigation easement in favor of Salt River Project Agricultural Improvement and Power District in Northern Avenue west of 67th Avenue and directing the city clerk to record a certified copy of the ordinance.
Mayor and Council, currently SRP has an existing irrigation pipe in this location. They are proposing to add an additional parallel pipe. So they are requesting that the city grant an additional easement area of 352 square feet adjacent to their existing easement so that they may access and maintain their facility in the future. Thank you.
Any questions? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve?
Mayor,
Go ahead.
I move that we approve item 38, ordinance number 02330.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Melner, a second from the Vice Mayor to approve the recommended action. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Hugh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, that motion carries unanimous. New business. Ms. Barr, would you introduce item 39 for us?
A public hearing of the council of the city of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, regarding the adoption of the water and wastewater infrastructure improvement plan and land use assumptions.
Mayor, members of the council, here to provide staff report is John Murphy, Engineering CIP Administrator.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Thank you. So we're here tonight to open up a public hearing for the LUA and IIP, the Land Use Assumption and Infrastructure Improvement Plan.
Yeah, hold on one second. I just want to clarify, we're not opening a public hearing tonight, is that correct?
A public hearing is required tonight.
But I don't have to open up a public hearing, didn't
Yes,
that
sir.
open? Okay. Okay, before you get going, because that's not here, but, okay, public hearing is now open. Now we're doing it legal.
Thank
Okay.
you. Mayor, members of council, we're here tonight for the public hearing for the LUA, which is the Land Use Assumption, and the IIP, which is the Infrastructure Improvement Plan for the water services impact fees. If you remember, last time we were here, we took some feedback. Going to actually go to the second slide here. We took some feedback on the multifamily number. So when we started our assumptions here, we carried forward the assumptions we used for the transportation impact fees. And, you know, there's been a lot of growth since then, over a year. So we worked with developmental services, and as you can see on the graphs, the numbers for multifamily were the ones that changed the most. They went from 2945 to 5004. that had a effect on the proposed fee. So it moved it down roughly $746. So from $7,871 to $7,125. So tonight, if there's no speakers, I'll go to the timeline. This is kind of, to put it in football terms, this is kind of the end of the first quarter. 3 more quarters to go. Next time we'll be in front of you, that'll be for the adoption of the land use assumption and the IIP. And I'll address any questions if there are any. Thank you.
Oh, I thought you were gonna keep going. I didn't realize you were done. Okay, so, we can go ahead and
Yeah,
close
there
the
are no
public-
speaker cards.
Okay, gonna go ahead and close the public hearing. Can I get a motion?
Yes, Mayor. I move we approve the adoption of the water and wastewater infrastructure improvement plan and land use assumptions as presented this evening.
Second.
Okay, a motion from the Vice Mayor, a second from Councilmember Hugh to approve the recommended action. Any discussion?
We
What?
don't vote on this.
Mayor, point of order.
Just a public hearing.
All it is tonight is a public hearing, so there's no need
That's
for a
what I
motion.
thought.
And so, if there's nobody to speak, then close the public hearing. And if you would then move on to council comments and suggestions, that'd be great.
Okay, I didn't hear the very last thing you said. Very last thing.
No motion.
Go ahead and move on to council comments and
Okay, very good.
suggestions.
Okay,
But close
yeah,
the public
we
hearing.
already closed the public hearing. Okay. Okay, council comments and suggestions. Councilmember Aldama.
Yeah, thank you. This past weekend was the 19th annual Teddy Bear Day, and I want to thank Valerie Coit, Heather, and her husband, Berner family, for supporting Glendale Fire and Phoenix Fire with these teddy bears. This isn't just a Teddy Bear Day. It's a day that the bears are given back to the fire department for the trauma care units and the trauma Teddy program. They've been doing this for 19 years consecutively, and I hope they continue for many, many more years. So I hope everybody would support it annually. But I want to thank the Berner family for supporting our Glendale firefighters and the families who are victims of in those situations. So I want to thank them. Thank you. Nothing else.
Councilmember Hugh.
Nothing.
Councilmember Melner.
Nothing, Mayor.
Councilmember Tomachoff.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Councilmember Turner.
Thank you, Mayor. Hopefully all of us present and many of those watching will remember that over the last few years in the Beryl District, we've had a redevelopment project going on. We've had a 1970s townhouse development that got started facing 59th Avenue between Royal Palm and Butler on the west side of the street. And back in the 70s, all that got accomplished was the front row of townhouses and many acres of what was supposed to be townhouses behind it to the west was left as a big vacant field that created all kinds of issues regarding transients and dust and weeds and all of those kind of illegal dumping, all those kinds of issues. And a couple, 3 years ago, we had a developer approach the city about taking that project on and asked for some help from the city with plan review fees and some things like that. It was a little bit different for us to provide that kind of support up front, but we took a risk. And so that project now is completed. It's the name of the complex is 59 Evergreen, Evergreen being the name of the street that it's on. It's open for rentals. The developer's actually offering a discount for members of public safety, and I think also teachers can get a reduced rent in there. It's really been an improvement to that neighborhood, and really it's helping with housing and all of that. But the developer is Joel Broder. His company is VisitQuest Properties, and just last month he won the 2023 Arizona Multi-Housing Garden Apartment Development of the Year award for that project. And I'm just very proud of him and his company. And I'm also proud of us as a city and city council for having taken a small risk, being a little bit flexible, and helping get that project completed. It's definitely an asset in my district and Glendale as a whole. So congratulations to Mr. Broder and VisitQuest, and congratulations to us as well. Thank you, Mayor.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you. Yes, Mayor. I wish to announce my upcoming district meeting on Monday, October 9th, from 6 to 8 p.m., 6 to 8 p.m., at Desert Diamond Arena at the Desert Diamond Terrace. We've held the last 2 district meetings there, and they have been absolutely super. I can't thank Dale Adams, manager of Desert Diamond, enough. They have provided us with refreshments that everybody has totally enjoyed. So I encourage everyone, you're all welcome, to attend my next district meeting on October 9th. Thank you, Mayor.
Vice Mayor, I just want to clarify, because I know there was some confusion last time. It is Desert Diamond Arena, not Desert Diamond Casino.
Yes.
So just make sure you check the right box here. I don't have anything to add tonight, so we're going to go right into our citizens' comments. The next item is exactly that. It gives the citizens an opportunity to bring information business before the council that's not on our printed agenda. Before I start welcoming speakers to the podium, I want to remind everybody in the audience that anyone speaking tonight, that this is a public meeting, and as the chair, I'll not tolerate any profanity or threats to this council or staff or employees. If you violate the rules, you will simply be asked to leave. Hopefully we don't get there. With that said, I'll call your name. And what I'll need you to do, if you live in the city, just tell us the district you live in. If you know it, if you don't know it, just give us your crossroads. I do not need to know your home address. If you don't live in Glendale, just tell us what city you live in. We're going to start off with Stephen House. Did I pronounce that right, sir? Okay. You have 3 minutes, sir, and then Mr. Ho, you'll be following him. If you'd be ready to go.
So what I wanted to talk about was
again, state your name, sir, and your district if you know it.
I'm in Bart Turner's district, and my name is Steve. So a couple of weeks ago, there was a fire on Cortez between 63rd and 65th. And the reason I knew about it was it sounded like the 4th of July going off. There was another fire about 3 years ago on 61st and Union Hills. And when I went to talk to the neighbor that lived next to the fire at Cortez, he was remembering another fire that happened. And my question is, what caused those fires? So what I'd like to propose is the fire department on their webpage list what the causes of the fires were for residential units. We don't need to know everything they do, just for residential units. And what I'm concerned about is that house that just burned down was built by Continental Home. And when Continental Home built most of those houses between 59th and 67th in Peoria and Cactus, most of those homes were Continental. They did the bare minimum on the electrical side. Most all of the outlets in the house are on 14 gauge wire and 15 amp breakers. The only 3 exceptions to that is under the sink for the garbage disposal and the dishwasher and above the washer. Those are 20 amp, 14 gauge wires. Everything else in the house, the kitchen outlets, the bedroom outlets, and the code in 1980 when those were built, you could have 6 outlets on one 15 amp breaker. What causes electrical fires is heat. And all the wiring, of course, is in the attic. And the other problem is, in the attic, they have trusses. And when you build a truss, you take metal on both sides, the 2x4s, and put it. Guess where those wires are sitting? Truss after truss after truss is sitting on that metal edge. So you can't go back, even though there's a green sticker still on my panel that says it was inspected by the city. In 1980 was boomtown for City of Glendale. So if you inform the citizens that your neighborhood, your builder, they may be more proactive and not wait till the house burns down. Because when you build a house out of 14 gauge wire, you're asking for trouble. And that's what Continental Homes did.
The other problem is, as the wire degrades over time because of the heat, and the electrical breakers degrade over heat, when he built those homes, you went from the panel to the top of the meter. There is no main switch because it costs more money. So all I'm asking for is to publish on the webpage where these fires are. I know you probably can't give the address, but at least give the zip code, the builder, and what is the town, and the what caused the fire.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. James Ho, you're up.
Mayor and Council, my name is James Ho, and I'm a Cholla District resident. I made a public comment at the Citizen Bond Election Committee meeting on August 2nd, where I explained a discrepancy between the city's stated CIP project prioritization process and the actual process used by the city. In short, the city's published budget book describes an objective ranking process for CIP projects using a matrix with weighted criteria that was developed and approved by the City Council. When I requested a copy of this project ranking matrix, the city informed me that no ranking exercise actually occurred. City staff planned to use this process, but it was not completed and scoring was not used to prioritize the projects. Instead, each department simply recommended projects to the city manager. I requested that the city explain this discrepancy to the public in the questions and answers section of the 2023 GO Bond website. After I made my public comments, the city said that they would answer the bond committee's questions at the next meeting as long as they were on the agenda. I was looking forward to that meeting, but was disappointed to learn that the city has decided to cancel all future bond committee meetings before the election. I was not aware that the city council had voted to dissolve the bond committee. I would like to know when that occurred because I did not see that on any council agenda. Additionally, the city council has not yet voted on the final list of projects that will be funded using these bonds. Until that time, the bond committee is the only way that residents are able to provide input on how $160 million of their tax dollars will be spent. I'm requesting that the council restore the bond committee so that they can continue to conduct their business ahead of this important election. I think that is the least the city could do for residents in anticipation of their vote in November. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Elena Bodine.
Greetings, Mayor and Council. My name is Helena Johnson Bodine. I live in the Cholla District. I'm here tonight to describe my experience on the current Citizen Bond Election Committee. I am the president of Arrowhead Ranch Phase 2 Homeowners Association, which has 1,205 homes. I am the chairperson for 2 of our HOA committees. I also serve as the vice chair of the Parks and Recreation Commission for the City of Glendale. I served on the art panel for the Water Services Well project at Sierra Verde, and I'm serving on the Citizen Bond Election Committee. With my experience, I know how committees and meetings should operate and what the processes are and how committees work to make recommendations. As an involved citizen, I was eager and honored to contribute and help make recommendations to the council. Unfortunately, this is not what I experienced on the bond committee. To start, there was little, if any, communication of when the meetings were going to be held. Meetings were delayed from fall of last year until the middle of April of this year, with no information or reason to why when asked. The survey that went out to the citizens was a poor turnout, and this survey was what staff based decision-making on. There was a rush to vote to make a recommendation to council in the first meeting by city staff. And it appears that the timeline and process to prepare is too similar to 2020. Why repeat what did not work the first time? It felt to me like the committee was just there to listen to staff. It felt like the staff was the actual committee. When questioned by the citizens, the staff was very dismissive and somewhat rude, in my opinion, at times. Citizen questions were never answered completely, and we were told that if we have another meeting, we would be able to add the citizen comments and questions to the agenda. The committee agreed to have another meeting in early September. After the emailed announcement of the meeting, another email stated that it was unnecessary to meet again. I'm concerned that this process I witnessed is a repeat of what happened in 2020 when the citizens voted not to go out for bond. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Dibler, you're up.
Hi, my name is James Dibler. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. Today, I am speaking to you regarding a few concerns. I would like to see the Glendale Police Department at St. Thomas More, Mormon Catholic Church in Glendale, Arizona. Several people are not sitting down at the church to sign singing. They are passengers blocking the front window and owl. A off-duty Glendale police officer will be doing a good job with security at the church. Also, I would like the police department to donate donuts to St. Thomas More Mormon Catholic Church to raise money for Catholic war veterans who serve our country. Thank you for your time and consideration in this matter.
Thank you, Mr. Dibler. There being no further business before the council tonight, I'd like to thank everyone for attending. No objection from this council. Meeting is adjourned.